All right, guys. So for today's record, we would be working on a mix titled Suffar by OLU of Africa. So I'll be showing you the inner workings of it all. So hi everyone, my name is Lex for SPICYMIX, and today I'll be showing you the inner workings of Suffar, record called Suffar by OLU of Africa. So basically I'll be showing you the processings I had on there, the tonal changes I had on them, if any. So we'll be checking what I actually did to move it from where it was or where the engineer had it at to where I actually took it up to. So the first thing first is, I think this is a guitar riff. And by the way, while running this mix, we didn't like the ideology of the creative behind the mix was not to make it sound like a pop record or an Afrobeats record. The ideology there was to make it stand out, make it stand in between the early 90s and early 2000s. It's not really a modern mix. It's more of a cultural mix. So yeah, that's the first one. I think we have let's start from the drums. Let's start from the drums instead. Let's start from the drums. I have a thing for drums. Then from the drums, we would bring in the melodies. All right. So the first thing we had on here, let's see. Okay, so we'll start from this ring. I actually had no processing on this. Interesting. Well, for me personally though, I think I did this mix months ago. For me personally, it's more of, if I do not find a problem in who I'm actually mixing, you get, I do not try to fix anything if there are no problems with it. If it excels in what the producers or the artist or the creative actually wants for the project, I continue and I work with that apparently. So let's listen to this. This is the shakers and the effects. I have nothing on here too, though I think I have something on the boss. Yeah, I have a couple on the boss. So yeah, so once I play them individually with and without the processing they had on there, I think majorly all I had on them were EQs. Now this is the thing, yeah, some of these samples were actually compressed. They've been treated in some kind of way, and they've been processed actually. I'm not sure anyone of, okay, I think the guitars, the melody parts were add elements that were recorded. You get, there were recorded elements, were live instruments actually. For these ones, they actually mostly samples and they've been processed. Samples from Splice and etc. and they've been processed. So mostly I don't see a reason, except if there are resonances there. That's when I'll be treating any one of them. Oh, so okay, this is new. All right, so there's a log drum. I'll do it with and without. All right, so I think what I was trying to achieve here, this is around 2400. It's around 2400. So it's like a broad Q around 2400. So without, let's go again without. With. All right, I think the goal for that was to emphasize the attack of that log drum more. I think that was the goal I was going for. And this is I have an EQ on here that is doing absolutely nothing. Most likely I had the processing on there and I just took it off. Most likely I had the processing on there and I just took it off. So let's listen. What do we have on here? Okay. Okay, that's weird having both of them on the same mixer channel. But that's just all it has to it. So let's try this. Similarly, no processing on here too. Okay. Alright, so I have a rim, another rim on here. So I think these are just two rims complementing each other. Yeah. Anything on here? Oh yeah. So for this rim, this upper one, I think I took a lot of the low, a lot of the low mids, even right from the mids out. So without. All right, so this is the thing here. For me personally, I feel my mindset, let's just listen to only that with and without, then we'll be able to finalize why I did that. All right, so for me personally, what I felt was that I had other percussions that were maintaining the mid range of this song already. I don't want my rim to also be maintaining the mid range of that project, and I do not want it to be too thick, so thick that it would not be smacking. I needed it to smack, in as much as at the end of the day we'll discover that the drums were not, the mix was not to make the drums smack. Get it? It's a Vox prominent mix at the end of the day, but we are driving there. So I had that processing on there, and this also a clap. For this clap I had nothing on the, no processing on the EQ. It's just an FX. Basically I felt like there was no need for me to okay. All right, so what do we have here? We have a cymbal with no processing on. Then we have another rim on here, but this is like a -6 also. Let's see what this rim is doing up here. Do we have any processing on there at all? All right, so personally I feel this specific rim is to maintain the higher end of things you get, and a little bit of vibration, to the vibration you get from live drums. You get that that oscillation on the drum skin itself. So this would be emphasized more with this rim snare over here. So let's move on to the next. Okay. Okay, this is more like a sample. Oh, I think this is recorded and just duplicated across. Let's see what we have there on the EQ. Nothing. I did not process that. All right, what's this? This sound looks like a kick. Yeah, absolutely. Do we have anything on there? Weirdly, I didn't even cut out the space for the kick. I just pushed more around 24 also. Pushed more around 24. So I think I was looking for presence for the kick. Let's do it with and without. It's like without. And there's with. So I think what I did on there was to emphasize the attack and the kick itself. Now this is it. This is the thing. I do not mix the same way. I possibly I mix with respect to the feel I have at that point. Presently, would I still do the same thing? Not really. I'm actually change some things on there when I'm running through this mix, but I still personally feel I will still go through the same process, not over mixing things, not over adding this or adding that or saturating like most people expect. Let's see what this is. Okay, no processing on there. What is this? Okay, we have an art here. Any? No processing on there. How about this? Oh, there's a tone with absolutely no processing on there. I think for all EQs I have on here, I didn't. So apparently I didn't really do much on this. Well, not doing much does not change anything. This is the thing, yeah. As an engineer, you should know when to touch some things in the mix and when to let some things go. Not every time you hear something, you go, oh yeah, I must compress that, oh yeah, I must EQ that. Nah, you are going to F up the whole process. You are going to F up the whole process. So what I'm going to do now is solo these drums. And let's see, I think I left everything to the drum boss, so let's have that. So we're going to play this without the processings on here, firstly, just so I can listen to the drums. Okay, that was even with the processing on. That was with the processing on. There was something else. Okay, that was actually with the processing on. Let's take the processing off. Now with the processing on, alright. So personally, I think I was not trying to change the sound of the drums that much, but something actually changed. The drums were super up close, you get, they were like up close to my face, and due to the fact that we're not going for a pretty modern mix based on the construct of the record itself, I needed the drums to sound like they were coming from a live room, like they were being mic'd, you get, like we had the mics on the kicks, the drums, and the percussion. So we are recording from a room, and every room has an ambience, as we all know. So the ambience was what was added. So firstly, we are going to mute whatever we have on here. This is doing absolutely nothing, the EQ there. So we're going to mute everything we have on here and listen through. So I was not mixing this to make my drums smack, apparently. So we'll be bringing them one after the other to understand what they are doing in the mix. So I have a fast release on here and somewhat like a medium attack. Though, to be very honestly, the settings don't actually do matter. What matters is what the settings is reacting to. What signal are you sending into whatever you're using to process? That's what actually matters at the end of the day. So what I'm using this to do most likely is to tame the aggressiveness I have on the kick, based on the fact that I sort of EQ wise superimposed, or I sort of EQ wise all right, so the whole point at the end of the day is I'm using it to tame the attack I already created for on the kick. So not really doing much, just reacting when the kick is pumping. Then I have my favorite plugin, Decapitator, on there. So presently I'm having a different ideology on this mix. I think I'm just distorting it a little bit, just a little bit of distortion. So it's just a bit of reaction on there. So I think that's what I was going for. And then the next on there, this EQ is doing nothing, so I can actually just leave it. Yeah, then I have a room verb I actually just use just to create ambience on there. So basically I have my pre-delay at 11 milliseconds. Really doesn't matter, it depends on your tempo, yes, and on the groove of the drums you're actually working on at the end of the day. So I have a decay of 0.4 seconds, which really also depends on the groove of what you're working on at the end of the day. So this is parallel processed. I didn't want the verb on my kick itself, so I didn't want it much on my kick itself. So this is 8% width running through. So let's listen through. Yes, so to the melodies. So I think I treated the melodies all together. I think I had my okay. So for the melodies, I have some guitar riffs on here. Oh, and by the way, some of these multi-track, like the tracks on there, they've been treated earlier on. They've for the ones with noises, they've been denoised. The ones with resonant frequencies, they've been removed. They've been EQ'd and removed and just reprinted back. And also volume-wise, for those that are like super low, we brought them up to volume. Just a little bit of volume adjustment here on the playlist. So let's listen through. All right, so this is the thing here. Sometimes when you tend to distort shakers or hi-hats, they tend to be super bright, unnecessarily bright. So for this mix, I separated my shakers. I just took my shakers to, because I didn't need them to be distracting. They are groovy, but the groove of the percussion is what I'm actually flowing with, not the groove of the shakers this time around. So I separated the shakers. I didn't treat the shakers on the same bus as the drum bus. So we're just going to listen all through. Let's do this. Yep. So this is the thing here. That's some super stereo guitar riff. Commonsensically, you find engineers actually monoing them and possibly putting them at some specific sites, either a percent to the right or a percent to the left. For me, I'm actually not doing that for this mix. I'm actually not. That's not the goal for the mix, apparently. So I left it the way it was. I think I just did volume adjustments. All right. Okay, I think what I did there was I pushed it to the sides. This is it at the center. I thought it was boring there, though we are meant to play it in context, but in context rather. But I thought it was boring there, so I had to just push it to the side. So in context. So there's this guy. Add an EQ on there. Took out the lows in context. All right, we have another. So let's listen. Impressive. Yeah, so I left this at the center, so this can actually move to the sides. So one additional thing I do when I'm actually running a mix is placement. You get placement with respect to height, that's either lower, placement with respect to width, and placement with respect to depth. That's what I do. So for this one, I had one just at the center and the others pushed to the side, and sort of like the volume is super low to compensate each other. So let's play both of them so we can actually understand their relationship with one another. Now they sound like one rather than competing for space. Though let's try and run it to mono. Let's see what we are going to have. Now that's mono and it still sounds great. Let's do that one more time for stereo. Impressive. Now we are up to a sax pulse. Let's see, did I treat them? Oh, I just put the old sax in a similar space. So Apart from effects and etc., we use verbs to emphasize space. We use them to create a space for which an element is sourcing out from. It's like an illusion of source. You get an illusion of source. So that's what I actually did for this, and I used pro R for this. I added a delay of 2.5, a decay rather of 2.5. There's a bit of stereo on that. Super 100 on the mix knob, and oh yeah, I think this is one part of it. So I cut out a lot of the verbs on the higher frequencies. Interesting mix, by the way. Interesting one, by the way. All right, so let's move on. Without it, still close. Okay, now I believe I was trying to be super transparent in this mix. Now I believe I was super transparent on this. The verb space was to create a swell, was not to put it in a space as I felt, okay, on looking at it. So it was to create a swell. That's super fascinating. Sometimes you open up your old projects and you learn some new things from it. By the way, there is also a technique whereby you use verbs to soften things, to make some elements feel softer and to also push them back. They will still be predominant, but they will just be, instead of in your face, instead of the transient in your face, whereby you have to use a compressor to actually achieve that softness by taming the transient, you can also use a verb to tame that transient also. So that was what I did on here. I used the verb to tame the transient. So shall we? We shall. So let's listen to the parts. Let's feel what the parts actually are doing with respect. Wow, interesting. I also had guitars on here. All right, so for this mix, the guitars were more of a driving force than than the piano. The guitar was more of the driving force of the mix than the piano, because that was what the creative actually requested for, and that's what we went for. So oh yeah, I think yes, I add a little bit of stereo on here. Let's see, let's listen. All right, so we had a lot of stuff going on for the Suffar mix. This is for the instrumentation, by the way. So let's move to the vocals and Vox boss, instrumentation boss, and FXs, risers here and there, and a little bit of sound design. So that's what we are going for presently. So while this loads up, yep, we're back. Okay. So we are going to build this from the lead vocals. We left the channel and we left a session with 41 mixer channels. Now we have 36 on here. So let us dive into it. So first thing we want to treat is the vocals. Let's see what we had on the lead vocals. So we have this, okay.
Oh yo, OLU of Africa. You know man go struggle every day, also for no holiday. Suffar carry you go far away. No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here, see this life is so unfair.
Let's drop down the volume of that.
You can never make it anywhere when your soul is full of fear, hold your head up everywhere.
Okay.
But that way they do for who no care, shorten in your telomere, when you're ready I go clear. Make I tell you say, Dangote. If I tell you my life story, you gonna say Suffar okpogan. I trek sote, mo kiri titi lórí titi bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sẹ́ni tó kí n wá gbà o. Ayẹlẹ, mo képe tọwọ́ júrí mi ò lè ṣàlàyé lọ kankan.
So for me, just like every major A-list mix, we don't want the delays, which is the repetition of the vocals, to be competing with the lead vocals. So I have the vocals sent to delays and the verb here. I use the Echo Boy. I love the Echo Boy, and I'm using the studio tape type. That's the style I have on here. I have an high cut and a low cut on there just to make it feel a little bit radio-y. You get just a little bit, and there's a fourth note. You get it's a quarter note rather. That's what I have on there. So for my verb, I'm using the Pro R from Fab Filter. Is what I'm using from iVerb. Now this is a very, very rich verb. I have it at 100 pulling through. I don't have frequencies coming through from 121. I have a little bit of the body of the verb docked down. Also a little bit of sibilants also docked down. And I have it super boosted up from 14-ish, from 14k-ish upward. Also my decay time is 3.3 seconds, just 3 seconds rather. The rest is approximately, though we have to be really significant about the time. So yeah, I have that parallel process. So it's running through a different strip, you get, parallel to the vocal, to the lead vocal strip. And I have that running at negative 11.2 for my verb. For my delay, I have that running at negative 6. Not like the numbers are significant, but the essence of the numbers are what we're actually looking for. So that's like the first. So yeah, this vocal, by the way, has been melodined a bit. For every vocal you see me having on there, I either have some of my guys melodine them, or I actually do them myself. So there's we do a little bit of manual pitch correction before we reprint them, so that we do not have to be making changes anytime we're making changes in the mix. So we don't have to, like, for example, if I should copy a part here and I should change, if I should copy this part here and I should change it, it will influence the processing of retune or melodyne or whatever manual pitch correction plugin you have on there. So instead of me going through that stress, I just pitch it, then I reprint it. So I have autotune on here, doing a little bit of something subtle on there. Let's see what my setting on autotune is. So this is a G major. I have my return speed at 10, my is at 40. I have a flex tone at 12. Okay, now that's different, that's new. I also discovered that my autotune works better when I have formats on. So I don't get those glitchiness, you know, those glitchy bitty when I'm actually working. So also I have this part that I pushed to the sides. I think I have that for the beginning of the record.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
OLU of Africa.
Alright, so I had a rise down there, which is like a reverse reverb, and I had that stereo a bit, and I have this guy also pushed to the side.
Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ orí mi, ó ṣe ẹlẹ́dàá mi tó ń ṣọ́ mi tí ó jẹ́ kí n ṣe. Mama jẹ́ kí n ṣe. Mama jẹ́ kí n ṣe. Make I tell you say, Dangote, if I tell you my life story, you gonna to suffer ó pọ̀ gan.
Alright, so for my lead vocals, first thing I have on there is an EQ. I have this EQ on here. So we may not have enough time to go through switching it on and switching it off. So, let's just do that.
No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here.
Let's just do it. So we have this guy.
No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here. See, this life is so unfair.
Is it without?
No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here. See, this life is so unfair.
Now we can feel a lot of that plosive energy coming from this. We have a lot of that plosive energy coming up from this, and so did I treat plosive on here at all? Crazy, I didn't. So first thing I did was, okay, no, I have the sides boosted a bit up. I have the lows cut out, and what's this? Is around 100, and this is 18.3. This is 183. I had like a bit of a cue there to duck it down. Okay, so the next thing I had on there was a de-esser. Let's catch
No
this.
be only you go there for there, what the person no go here, see this life is so unfair.
So yeah, I use the Pro DS. I'm like a far filter fanboy at the end of the day. Try the Pro DS on there.
No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here, see this life is so unfair.
Okay.
You can never make it anywhere when your soul is full of fear, hold your head up everywhere.
Next thing I have on there is a compressor.
But the way they do for who no care, shutting in your telomere, when you're ready, I go clear.
Just a little
Make
bit
I tell
of
you
theme.
say, Dangote. If I tell you my life story, you gonna say Suffar opogon. I trek sote, mo kiri titi lórí títí bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sẹ́ni tó kí n wá gbà o. Ayẹlẹ, mo képe tó wojú rí mi ò lè ṣàlàyé lọ́kọ̀ọ̀kan. No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here, see this life is so unfair.
Now, I do not use analog EQs because I don't just use them. I find using the Pro Q easier for me. And for the analog sheen that people actually look for, the energy you get, that grittiness, I get that from Decapitator. Get that from Decapitator. So a few settings on here. And I have that similar sheen that Pro mixes.
No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here, see this life is so unfair. You can never make it anywhere when your soul is full of fear, hold your head up everywhere.
Alright, so I have the suit plugin on there for resonances that I did not catch when I was cleaning up the vocals. Now what I do is I push the vocals so loud, then I try to cut out anything I feel is actually piercing or disturbing me while listening to the vocals alone without the instrumentation firstly. So what I'm trying to do is to clear out the microphone resonances captured by the condenser microphone that was used to record. That's like the goal. So after that, I do not need to be doing running. That's why I have a simple EQ on here. I don't need to be doing that much processing on here. Sometimes I have somebody just do that for me, so I don't need to be doing that much craziness. So capture sibilances, make it a little bit warmer.
No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here, see this life is so unfair.
This is what I have.
You can never make it anywhere when your soul is full of fear, hold your head up everywhere.
Oh yeah, then I have the last one, which is I have a serial verb. I have a serial verb on here. So this is what the serial verb does. Also 10%. It's sort of like acting like the mixing up there is sort of like caging it. So I would be able to pick the amount of verb I want to use, you get, and it's just to create an additional space for the singer, just like how I created space for the drums. I also want to create space for the singer also. Now the thing is, all those melodic instruments don't necessarily play out from a space. They mostly have induced space, or they have modulated spaces. It's not like a drum that plays in a space and smack. For melodies, it's more like they're playing from a piano, from a synth, a guitar. Yeah, a guitar has space, so that I did that in the mix, and also sax. It's even from the melodic instruments played from a piano and etc. So I did do that for them. So this is what we have. Though after I sent this to the SI again, so I ran it through the SI again just to remove some additional, and that's everything I did on the lead vocal. That was all I did on the lead vocals. These are all FXs. We will touch them later on. So when we're done with the FXs, we would come to the BGVs, which are the background vocals. From there, we'll touch the mix bus. Then from there, we'll check out the printouts and we would be done.
Oh yo, OLU of Africa. You know man go struggle every day, also for no holiday. Suffer carry you go far away. No be only you go there for there. What the person no go here? See this life is so unfair. You can never make it anywhere when your soul is full of fear. Hold your head up everywhere. But the way they do for who no care. Shot in your telomere. When you're ready, I go clear. Make I tell you say, Dangote. If I tell you my life story, you gonna say Suffar opogon. I trek sote, mokiri titi lori titi beko seni toki wagba o. Ayele, moke peto wo juri mi o le ṣàlàyé lọ kankan. No be only you go there for there.
Alright, so I had like a little altar boy running a bit of a pitched down delay on here. So for this guy, so it's like a repetition. It's like it's a delay. You get it's a quarter note delay. That's what I actually created there. Then for these, I have also a quarter note delay, but not pitched down. Just for delay throughs here and there. Now, something you would notice is my automation. The way I automate is quite different. I do not use the known square, triangular wave, and etc. What I do is I want to see the waveform I'm actually acting on. That is what I'm actually working towards. So my automation, the way I automate is I just duplicate that specific waveform and I process it. I take out the dries, only the wets, and that's it. That's what I work with. So it's quite different from most of the automations you would have seen engineers use. This is a process that actually helps me a lot. I can see and I can actually treat it. I can fade it in, fade it out. Even though I automate it, I can make it smoother. I can add a different, for example, if I want to add specific processing to that, I can also still EQ this specific take differently from every other take I have, even on this mixer, running through this mixer channel. So that's the TU right there. Now, I had issues tuning this specific take, so I rather not run it through an auto tune, or like it's Melodyne, but it was not reacting well to an automatic tuning plugin, so I had to just snap it to a mixer without the automatic tuning plugin function in there. So let's just move to the last part. There was something I did there that someone asked me about. So this is it. This is what.
What you care for?
All right. So this was what I did on there.
What you care for, gone. Dangote. If I tell you my life story, you gonna say Suffar opogon.
Now here comes the BGVs. The money engine on there.
Can never make it
the
anywhere when your
verb.
soul is full of fear. Oh, your head up everywhere.
It is not going to sound really cool. It only sounds cooler when you play it in context.
Your soul is full of fear. Oh, your head up everywhere.
Yep.
When your soul is full of fear, hold your head up everywhere.
You can never make it anywhere when your soul is full of fear. Hold your head up everywhere.
So add some to the left and some to the right. For this one, I didn't really push them to the right and left. I left them at the center. I didn't really like pan them. Normally I meant to like pan them, so at least to a specific degree.
What you care for, go. Oh, yeah.
Alright, so
Mama checking shit. Mama checking shit. Make I tell you say, Dangote. If I tell you my life story, you gonna say suffer opogon. I trek sote, mokiri titi lori titi beko seni talking wak pa o. Ayele, mokepo to wojuri mi ò lè ṣàlàyé lọ kankan. Mama say, àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ we correct na the people where you. Oh yeah. Dangote, if I tell you my life story, you gonna say suffer opogon. Ayele, mokepo to wojuri mi ò lè ṣàlàyé lọ kankan.
alright, so I also automated the verb there for a specific. If I want more automations there, I'll just drag wherever I want to automate there and pick a specific verb for it and treat them separately. I had some backups I had to like mute. I guess they were not really harmonizing to what we actually went for. So, and that is how the vocal mix came through. And I think I touched the beat a little bit more. I always just do this, just cut out a little bit of space in the mid. And I think this here, this is actually muted. This is actually muted. So up until now, this is what we have.
Oh yeah, OLU of Africa. You know man go struggle every day, also for no holiday. Suffer carry you go far away. No be only you go there for there, what the person no go here. See this life is so unfair. You can never make it anywhere when your soul is full of fear. Hold your head up everywhere. But the way they do for who no care, shutting in your telomere.
Alright, so the full mix is on Spotify. The full mix is on Spotify. You can go up onto Spotify and search for Suffar by OLU of Africa. You would get the full mix there. Listen to the one approved by the team. So the mix approved by the team rather. So that was how I came about the mix for this record. So possibly later on we'll run through how I mastered the record, but this is all I have for my mix boss. Also, this is all I have for my mix boss treatment, and that is it, folks. There you have it, folks. We are done. So catch you next time. I would be running an in the mix session for a different song. Might be the same artist, might be a different artist. And shout out to OLU of Africa, and shout out to the team. Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me show the in the mix session of the project, and it's really a pleasure working with him. It's a pleasure working with the team also. So there you have it, folks.